Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another week of our Pinball Effects tournament video. Today I'm going to talk to you about the one ball challenge we had on Tomb Raider Pinball Secrets of Croft Manor. I'm going to mention why I think the franchise is so popular and how it got its start. Then we're going to be playing the next table in the Tomb Raider Pinball DLC, which is the Adventures of Lara Croft. So we're still on our break from the Zen Originals. But, you know, there's only 2 tables in the new Tomb Raider pack, so I figured why not just do the other one. So we'll do that for this week coming up. But now let's kind of talk about Tomb Raider Pinball. And I figure the best way to introduce or to talk about Tomb Raider is to talk about how the franchise got started. So interestingly enough, Tomb Raider was originally created by a British video game developer called Core Design in the 90s. I think the concept, from what I read on Wikipedia, actually started in 1994, but the first game wasn't actually released until 1996. So that you're talking about a pretty old established franchise, right? So the franchise is about a British archaeologist named Lara Croft, where the name comes from. And she basically travels the world for lost artifacts and hidden treasures. As you guys know, there's been film adaptations, there's comics, and even novels. So like I said before, the Tomb Raider game concept began all the way back in 1994. And I'm pretty sure like some of you guys weren't even born then, right? So that's kind of crazy to think about. And so when it released, it was so successful on release that the original developers ended up releasing sequels year after year, right? Because you think about it from a market sense, like if you have a game that sells well the first year you release it, you're going to want to copy that, right, and emulate that process. So you're going to release another sequel. So they ended up doing that, but it put a lot of stress on the developers. You have to imagine that when these games were developed in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, I think games took a lot longer to develop because the technology wasn't as good. So, you know, you talk about it now, you think about how fast games are kind of, you know, how they go from the concept stage to the, you know, the actual game. It's a lot faster, right? So it ended up putting a lot of stress on the original developers. But another interesting fact is that the franchise accrued about $1.2 billion in revenue by 2002. And so $1.2 billion in 2002 is a lot today. I don't know how much it would be, but that was a lot back then, and it is today. And Lara Croft, the main character of this video game, has sort of become like an iconic video game character that people associate with, you know, gaming culture, platformers, kind of like Mario or Zelda have become for other games. So one of the first Tomb Raider game released in 1996, only 2 years after it was conceptualized, and it released for the PC, the PlayStation, the Sega Saturn. And I do remember because I had the PlayStation, but I never had the Tomb Raider game. I always knew about it, but I never got into it. So I know some of my friends did. Maybe some of you guys even did as well. There was even a Dreamcast version as well. And when you're talking about the length of this franchise, it's still going on in 2025. There was apparently there's a TV series that's been planned, a live-action TV series from Amazon that's supposed to have a tie-in game as well, but it's still in development. And I did some research, and apparently it might be canceled or it might be postponed even longer. But kind of think about how a franchise that started in 1994 to be able to kind of withstand, you know, all the years is kind of incredible, because not many things can do that. But when you have something that's so popular, it does withstand the test of time, right? And going back to the games, there's many Tomb Raider games. There's quite a dozen of them. And they even had games for the mobile. Game Boy Color had spin-offs. They had one in 2000 and one in 2001. Game Boy Advance had another spin-off in 2002. Like I've said, you also have films, right? Lara Croft, Tomb Raider from 2001 with Angelina Jolie, which I've never seen. I have that on my watch list, though. You also have the Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life from 2003, and then you have a Tomb Raider movie from 2018, which I think is a reboot. And I had never seen that one either. You also have, aside from films and video games, you had attraction rides, such as Tomb Raider's Firefall and Tomb Raider's The Crypt. Both of those attractions are now closed, but I think, they were open for a while. Like, I think some of them opened in 2002, and they closed down in, I think 2011. But it's just interesting how far-reaching this franchise is, because it's not just video games. It's become film, comics, novels, spin-offs, TV adaptations. There's even an anime. Like a animated version of Tomb Raider. So there's a lot to talk about when you're talking about Tomb Raider. I wish that I could say more about it, but I've never played a Tomb Raider game. I've never seen a Tomb Raider movie. So I really can't talk much about that part. But I just wanted to mention how big the franchise has become and that it's still going, right? 2025, with things still in development in terms of TV shows. Let's see here. So now that I've talked as much as I can really say about Tomb Raider, is that this table is pretty fun. I think when I first played it on a release, I thought it was so visually appealing. Just the way it looks like a manor, right? The inside. Like, you have a fireplace, you have the entrance, and even the artwork on the table makes it look, the isometric, like the top-down view, really kind of made the table pop out, right? Gave it those dimensions on a flat surface, which I liked. You have pretty solid sound effects and sound bites from Lara Croft herself, and I think the servant. You have decent DMD animations. You even have some like stills and animations from the actual game. I think from the PlayStation 1 game or one of the games, and you have your own thematic ones and the ones that they probably created themselves. Very clean layout with the table. Nothing is really obstructed. It's a very kind of simple table, but it's got a cool upper play field where you can make these continuous time shots that can give you a lot of points. I think the codex they're called. I like how the center of the fireplace is where you start the main modes. So it's kind of it's a dangerous shot because it's right in the middle. So you're gonna find that when you play this table, a lot of drains are down the middle. So that's the only thing I don't like. But the modes themselves were kind of cool. Some of them were actually hard. Like the maze one was tough. Like you'd think it would be easy, right? Just like shooting it down the middle, right? And that's basically what a lot of the modes are, is hitting a target in the middle. But it's so dangerous because of the straight down the middle kind of pitfall that you get into when you make those kind of shots. But this table was just like a solid table. It didn't do anything too fancy. There was some cool secrets. I found out there was a secret skill shot where if you plunge the ball and you go directly into the fireplace, you get 3 million and you get to start the mode. There was a cool Winston drop target that was going back and forth that could give you a lot of points. You've got your standard skill shot with hitting a lit lane. You've got kickbacks on both out lanes. You have the modes that are pretty easy to understand. Even the agility one was kind of confusing, but kind of cool. And you have this, you have a manor and multiplier where you get double points. You have the secret manor award where you can get extra ball and different awards. Just a really cool table overall. And I'm pretty sure some of you with the scores that I'm seeing on the leaderboard probably got to the wizard mode with one ball, mind you. I could not do that. You know, I just, you know, some of the main modes were like tough for me, like the study sessions one where you have to hit the book. The combat mastery one was tough. The only one that I found that I could do without any problem was the agility one, which is kind of a cool one. But let's go over the scores here. So we had an open tournament with about, was it 29 people? And our first place winner goes to Fisher's Method with 269 million points. Congratulations to you, Fisher's Method. We've seen Fisher in another one of our tournaments. I think he got first, and I forgot the table. But Dracky Barks Michael was telling me he was a very good player, so it's an honor to have him in our tournament. And congratulations to you, Fisher's Method, for that awesome score right there. And it's hard to believe that these are one-ball scores, right? I just played, before making this video, a couple three-ball games, and I even got an extra ball. I didn't even come close to these scores. So you guys are really on the ball here. Second place, we have another regular, Jabba, with 132 million points. Congratulations to you, Jabba. Hope Jabba's having fun. I think he's on his Euro trip. But thank you, Jabba, for being in the tournament and getting second place. And I love that his logo. You can see his name right there. And like a pinball with the headphones. Love that. So third place, we have another regular, Gapvik, with 109 million points to make it in third place. Congratulations to Gapvik. And in fourth place, King Balchi 100 with 108 million. Now look how close this is. 1 million points between third and fourth. Very competitive scores. Fifth place, UTD 4000, another regular with 89 million points. Just Wayne in sixth place with 56 million. Bad Jack Daniels, another regular in our tournaments, with 40 million points in seventh place. I came in ninth with 28 million. Look how close I am to Joe Rush, right? A couple 100,000 right there. Carpy Sun in 10th place with 26 million, also close to my score. 11th place, we have Wombat in a Hat with 20 million points. Going down the list, Fabled Scarab in 14th place with 15 million points. Another one of our regulars. Genuines is back in 16th place with 13 million points. Very close scores here. Look at that, 13, 14, 15. Leon 102 in 17th place with 13 million points. Welcome back, Leon. We haven't seen Leon in our tournaments, but he joins our tournaments from time to time, so it's good to see him back. And very close scores there. Look at that. A couple, not even 100,000, right? A couple thousand. Going down the list, just reading names I know. Batfink in 24th, 6 million points. And I think that's all the names. So thank you to everyone who participated. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about the tournament. About the franchise. So we're going to create another tournament. It's going to be on the Tomb Raider Adventures of Lara Croft. This one is going to be a closed one. One ball, realistic physics, unlimited players, but only limited to 10 attempts. So I know some of you guys don't like this, but it's the only way to keep things kind of different, right? So 6 days, 10 attempts, unlimited players, one ball. So the password is going to be, what is today? 29th. So 6/29/25. All right. I'll give this one attempt here. Here's the ID. And let's go. So again, it's 6/29/25. All right. Now this table to me reminds me more of like what I remember of Lara Croft.
Isn't she beautiful?
Hit the cross ramp. Okay, cross ramp. I got it.
You say that's all.
Oh man, jinxed myself. This is the table with like multiple skill shots. This table kind of gives me like Jurassic Park vibes. I don't know why.
You can leap from anywhere.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, that was so bad.
happens to
I
the...
gotta go again. I don't know.
This is going to require some
Let me
creativity.
get the skill shot. No, not enough power. Wait, what's going on here? Escape the submarine. Where's the submarine? Swan dive. Are you serious? Okay, I'm just gonna keep this one here because this table, I don't want to waste all my attempts in this video. But I will be practicing, so this is definitely, it seems like a more, like, this table seems a lot more difficult than Secrets of Croft Manor. But I hope you guys enjoyed, hope you have fun with this tournament, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.